Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back. The highly anticipated last and final episode, episode 10 of Arabic Grammar Time, with me, your brother and favourite Arabic teacher on the entire internet, Sam. How you guys doing? Call to action. Today is the last chance to come on board the Arabic in 60 Steps program. These are the only books that I have left. I only have 7 or 8 books left. So that's how many spaces there are for new students, inshallah. Please come on board if it's something that you have been interested in for a while or you've been thinking about it. A real big benefit of joining now is even if you're not interested in the current program, but you are interested in Arabic in 60 Steps 2.0, which is launching on the 1st of April, anyone who joins now, I will not only reimburse you guys whatever you paid for this current course, I'll reimburse you double it when you upgrade. So if you were to upgrade now, let's say, and you were to pay the full fee for the course, £97, I wouldn't just reimburse you £97 when you upgrade, I'll reimburse you £194, if my maths is correct, right? I'll reimburse you double it. So it's a good deal, even if you're interested in it now, or there's the slightest part of you that might be interested in the upgraded course later, it's a good idea to come on board. See you guys in there. Let's make with the grammar time. So this week's episode of Grammar Time, as promised, there are only 4 grammar mistakes this time. There were in the last lesson and in this lesson too, only 4 grammar mistakes for us to talk through. The first one is one which most students who I teach from scratch make this mistake at one point or another. So let's have a look at it. We all know the verb laysa. The verb laysa is from the verbs which are among kana and her sisters. We like laysa very much, very useful verb. But there's one thing laysa can't do. Laysa cannot become this, yalisu. 10 points for whoever can guess what mistake I've made there. Yalisu. We do not make laysa present tense. We do not make laysa mudari'. We do not conjugate it into the present tense. It does conjugate in the past tense. We can have laysa, hiya laysat, anta lesta, anti lesti, and ana lestu. We can conjugate it in the past, but it just does not become a present tense verb. Why? Because it looks like that. Who wants to look at a verb like that says yalisu? Who wants to say that? Another reason is that laysa is actually present tense in its meaning. Okay, if I say, ana lestu muta'akkidan, I am not certain, I'm not sure, okay? It doesn't mean I wasn't sure. If you're going to say I wasn't, then we use the negative of kana in the past. You can say lem akun or just ma kuntu. Yeah, you just use the negative of kana in the past. Laysa in its meaning is a present tense verb. And we also don't conjugate it because it's so ugly in the present tense. So that's a mistake that a lot of students make with laysa. Let's move on to the next one. Mistake رقم اثنان. Here's a nice one actually, the word bayna. Bayna is a very useful word actually, bayna meaning kind of between. Bayna. You usually don't learn bayna when you learn the prepositions, when you learn the huruf al-jar. But it kind of is one, because the thing that comes after it needs to be majroor. So that's why we can't say, and this is the mistake that students sometimes make, when they want to say like between me and you, if you say something's between us, between me and you. I've seen students say bayna ana wa anta. Bayna ana wa anta. Okay, there's a couple of reasons why that's a little bit funky and why we want to change some things about that. Number one, as I mentioned, we're using the wrong pronouns. You say bayni, between me, bayni, between me, wa baynak, bayni wa baynak, between me and you. Yeah, bayni wa baynak, wa baynak, bayni wa baynak. That's how we actually say it. Okay, that's actually right. But another mistake here, as you notice, is if we're using pronouns after it, if we're saying between you and between them, baynaka wa baynahum, between you and between them, you use bayna both times. Okay, we're saying bayni wa baynak. We're using bayna again afterwards. So we can't just say bayna ana wa anta. Yeah, you use bayna twice if it's 2 pronouns that we're saying that it's between. Okay, it's a little rundown of bayna. Bayna is really useful. I like bayna. Bayn wa bayn. If it's kind of, I don't know if it's more kind of Aramiya to say that, say like bayna wa bayn. It's kind of in the middle, Next one. Here's a really common one, right? In English, the verb to have is a verb, right? In English, In English, it would be correct to say something like, I have a pie. Okay? I don't know why I always give pies as examples. I don't eat pie. Here in the UK, I don't even know where I'd get a pie. Seems like people like pie in America and they get pie a lot, but I always use them in my examples. Let's say I have a pie. In English, it's correct for me to say that's the object of the verb, because I have is a verb. But in Arabic, if we say something like this, أنا عندي, I have a house, okay? Here's a mistake. A lot of students think that it's the object. Say, أنا عندي بيتا. عندي is not a verb. Can't have an object, okay? There's no object, okay? There is a verb to have, right? There is a verb. We can use meleka and imteleka, I use sometimes, but they're nowhere near as common as عند, especially in Ammiya land, yeah? And, لدي is probably more common even. Ma, particularly common, and li is very common as well. Those are kind of the main ways of saying have, but most of them aren't verbs. You normally don't express having something with a verb, and that's why it does not have an object. So it would be more correct in this case to not have بيتن and just have بيتun. عندي بيتun. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. That's correct. عندي بيتun. Very nice. And the fourth and final mistake of grammar time. It's not even a good one. We're ending the series on this. Well, I wrote it down just because it is a mistake that I've spotted a lot. But it's not the best one yet. So let's just have a look at it. There is an assumption that students make with the tet madbuta. The assumption is that always, if a noun has a tet madbuta on it, we govern it with feminine nouns and pronouns and whatever else around it. That rule will serve you 99% of the time. It will serve you 99% of the time. However, there are some words and some names that have a tet madbuta on the end, but they're not feminine. It's unhelpful, but it's just how it is. Let's have a look at some of them. So, the name Hamza. One of my very first students who lives in Kent. You might be watching this. What's up, Hamza, if you're watching this? Hamza has a tet madbuta on the end, but it's not feminine. You shouldn't say قالت Hamza. Hamza said. You just say قال Hamza. Okay, you treat it as a masculine word because Hamza isn't a girl's name. Do you know what I mean? It's one of these words that is just obviously from its meaning, it is still masculine. A little bit like how the word bint and the word they mean girl and mother. Do you know what I mean? They're feminine. Their meaning is feminine, right? Hamza is one of them. Another one is Khalifa. Khalifa. Khalifatun. Khalifatun. The Khalifa, the Caliph, as we kind of say in the Western tradition, it's not a woman, yeah? The Khalifatun is a man. So, and it's also a name as well. You can also have the name Khalifa. There's a guy from Kuwait who did my degree, who was in my cohort at uni when we were studying Arabic, and his name was Khalifa. So that's one. And there are a number of other names, like the name Ubaida, for example, or Ubaida. If it's a man's name, or Ubaida, I think the name Ubaid or Ubaida, that is like I remember learning when we did like Sirah classes that's like a name that people would often take if they were Jews and they became Muslims. That often people like there's a lot of the Ashab and Nabi, a lot of the companions of the Prophet who have the name Ubaid or Ubaida, who are like Jews who became Muslims. I'm not sure why that is, but I was just taught that's sort of part of the tradition as to why. But if that's a man's name or Ubaida, or if any name has a tet madbuta on the end of it and it's a man's name, you don't conjugate it as if it's don't govern it with feminine verbs. And that is it. We're gonna have to close the book on grammar time. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions of things that we can do in the future instead of grammar time, then I'm all ears. I'm open-minded to other things that I can do to help you guys, inshallah. I'm always listening, I'm always watching your comments and stuff. I'm always paying attention to what videos you're watching more than others, to see if I can get some insight into what will help you more. Going forward, inshallah, for now though, the publishing schedule is as follows. Sunday is the Arabists Digest. You get hold of the newsletter. You can subscribe to the newsletter on my website, arabictam.com. And then in the evening I'll do a Q&A. after that newsletter has gone out. And then maybe a week later, I'm going to start putting them on my blog as well, because I have a blog on Medium and on LinkedIn as well. I have a blog. So I'll start like a week later putting those on the blog as well, just in case you don't want more emails coming into your inbox. Do you know what I mean? If not everyone wants emails coming from me every week. Do you know what I mean? But if you do, you can subscribe to it and it will come to you rather than you having to search for it every week. And we're doing a Q&A that evening every Sunday. Next is Monday, podcast. Monday is podcast day. And then Wednesday is Wednesday walkthroughs. We're going to be unpicking kind of another text or something like that. At the moment we're doing a walkthrough of the 30 hadith for children, and people seem to be enjoying it, so we're just going to carry on. We might complete the whole book, and then after that we'll do something else. Maybe we'll do a poetry walkthrough or something like that. We'll do maybe one day we'll do a Quran walkthrough or something like that as well, but only from like an Arabic language, only within like the capacity that I'm sort of qualified to do. And so Wednesday has a live Q&A as well after in the evening at 4 p.m. on Instagram. I think it would make sense. Let me know what you guys think about this. Because I kind of have Sunday Arabists Digest and Q&A in the evening on YouTube. On Wednesday, I have Wednesday walkthroughs on YouTube and then a Q&A on Instagram. And if on the Monday I do the podcast, I can have a Q&A on the Facebook. So we can have 3 Q&As, one on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and we can kind of have a written bit of content with the article. We're going to have a podcast, so something audio that you can listen to, and then a video that we do on Wednesdays. And that'd be quite nice. Then I can do more live videos as well. Let me know what you think about that, inshallah, because I don't really do anything live on Facebook at the moment, so let me know what you think about that. If you enjoyed this video, and I hope you did, don't forget to like and share it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel before you go. See you guys on Sunday for the Arabists Digest. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.